Thank y'all for staying so late. We're so grateful. It's been a long day and a long night, but I think we are safe to say that we won this race for re-election. So there's a lot going on around the country tonight. We're still watching the results come in. We're not exactly sure what the landscape looks like. Some of the polls haven't even closed out on the West Coast, so we'll see what happens. It looks like our House majority may be lost, and that's okay. I'm gonna share a few thoughts with you about that. But let me say first, thank you all for being here. So many of you in this crowd literally stuck it out with us all day long, and all for the last 2 years, and it's been quite a ride. I need to start first by saying thanks to Kelly, my better half. She's an American hero. She puts up with all this craziness. Thank you. It's being a congressman's wife or a congressman's spouse is a difficult assignment, and she does it with such grace. And everybody knows I'm married up. And anytime I go anywhere with Kelly, my stock rises. And when she's not with me, they all look disappointed, and I can see it on their faces, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. Hannah, Abby, Jack, and Will. Will's really the star of the campaign, as we all know. He was a little upset tonight. He didn't have as much of a speaking or performing part as the other siblings, so we had to give him his proper due. We want to thank my mom and my parents-in-law, Ken and Betty Larry, somewhere back here, and thank you, and all the family. My brothers are here. Chris and Susan drove in from Dallas, and all their kids. Josh and Laura over here, and Laura and Matthew and their whole crew, and then Kelly's brother, John, Larry, and Gretchen. He's the pastor at Calvary Baptist. Thank you all the family, for being here, and we're so grateful. I have an extraordinary staff, and you could not do this job without an extraordinary staff. And let me thank them very quickly. Hayden Haynes is my chief of staff, and he was up here a little while ago, and you also have Hayden. He hails from Webster Parish, and he's done a great job from day one. Thank you, Hayden. Everybody knows Chip Layton. He's our deputy chief of staff and runs the Louisiana operation, and I don't know where Chip is. He's always working somewhere, but thank you, Chip, over here in the corner. Thank you. I'm looking at Nicole Licardi up in the booth. She's our fundraising chair, and she does a great job all over the state for us. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you. And y'all hold your applause, but let me tell you, our DC staff, this is the team that works for you for the 4th Congressional District in DC. Ruth Ward and Ainsley Holyfield and Jack Wallachie and Brad Morris and Brittany Walsh and Whit Caldwell. And here in the state, in our Louisiana offices, are Pam Graw, who's been with me for 20 years or something. Jerry Ledoux and Leslie Quinn and Julie Everett and Lee Turner and Dylan Davis. What a great, extraordinary staff we have. I'm so grateful. We could not do this job without them, and I'm just truly grateful. Dylan peeled off a couple of months ago and became effectively the grassroots coordinator of the campaign, and he did a great job for the first time, and that's the result. Look, we are so grateful. We have so many friends and supporters and volunteers, and I can't even possibly begin to name them all, but you know who you are, and you're a big part of this, and we're so grateful. We have 15 parishes in Louisiana's 4th Congressional District: Allen, Beauregard, Bienville, Bossier, Caddo, Claiborne, DeSoto, Evangeline, Natchitoches, Red River, Sabine, St. Landry, Union, Vernon, and Webster. It's enough to just say, but to cover all that area, it's about a third of the state by land area. We did 42 town halls over the last 2 years and tried to be accessible and be all over those places, and we're so grateful. Let me say a word, and I'm going to not speak long, but I just want to say this. The next 2 years looks to be a very challenging couple of years for the country, and let's be honest about that. I am currently in a race right now to be the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. The RSC is the largest caucus of conservatives in the Congress. Currently, as before tonight, we had 150 members in that caucus. We'll see how many are left. But if the reason we're running for chairman is I believe the next 2 years, it's going to be more important than ever for conservatives to speak with clarity and conviction and consistency about our core principles, what it is that we believe. We believe in some simple things: individual liberty, limited government, the rule of law, fiscal responsibility. peace through strength, free markets, and human dignity. We believe in the sanctity of every human life, and there's a reason we believe all these things, because we believe that all these are gifts of God. And so we owe that to our Creator, and we owe it to our country, and we're going to do that and continue to lead and speak with clarity and conviction about those things. I think you can say our country's divided, maybe arguably, seemingly, as we haven't been since the time of the Civil War. And Abraham Lincoln had the daunting task of addressing the nation at that time. In his first inaugural in 1861, he famously said these words. He said, "We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break the bonds of affection. The mystic cords of memory, stretching from every battlefield and patriot grave to every living heart and hearthstone all over this broad land, will yet swell the chorus of the Union, when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature." Let's hope that we can still appeal to those better angels. I believe that we can. We're working on that in the House. I drafted this thing back in January 2017 called the Commitment to Civility. We got over 150 members of Congress signed onto that, leaders and luminaries from both sides. There are leaders in Washington who believe that the tone of our politics has gotten to a point that's, well, frankly, shameful. And that we ought to change the direction of that, and we're going to try to continue to lead on that as we continue to lead and represent the interest of this district. So we're so grateful for the opportunity to do that. I believe that our best days are ahead of us, and we're going to continue to carry the mantle and move and advance these core principles. Ronald Reagan said this, and I'll close with this. He said, you know, they called him the great communicator, but in his farewell address, he famously said, "I was not the great communicator." He said, "I just communicated great things." And they're the same great things that have animated and pushed our country forward for the last 200 years. And he said that back in the 80s, and now we're coming up on almost 250 years. Those are the same great truths that are going to carry us through. Eventually, all the dust is going to settle, and America's going to be great because she is good. And we're going to fight for that goodness. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's go forward, and let's keep praying for the country. We appreciate it.